last balloon of this video, I want to make a rainbow dog. This is a big dog. It's made out of 350s. It's usually, when I do birthday parties, I offer the birthday child a character of their choosing. And so lately I've been getting a lot of requests for rainbow dog. Or actually, the mother will say a dog and not wanting to do a simple dog, I said, oh, okay, well, how about a rainbow dog? However, if you were to do this all in one color, with a few modifications, it could very easily be any of a huge number of character dogs that are very recognizable. If it's all red, then it's the red dog. If it's all blue, then it's the blue dog. If it's all brown, then it's the brown dog, etc., etc. However, I'm doing rainbow dog. Now, the one thing that I don't like about this dog is that, unfortunately, I don't have at this point any opaque 350s. So he's see-through, which I don't love. As you know, I love the jewel tones for hats. I'm not so crazy about them for dogs. But in absence of a choice, at least at this point, I don't have. I think Prestige makes a 360 that's actually opaque, but I don't have any. So, okay. Now this dog, parts of his face, well, actually just his nose and his mouth is borrowed from Patrick Brown's Little Heart Dog, which is absolutely adorable. And if you ever get a chance to take a class with Patrick Brown to learn about it, you should. It's also a little bit tricky because of it, and it's very challenging because of the nose. Anyhow, basically for the nose, what you want to do is you want to take a 350. You don't need it inflated that much because really all we need out of it is a tulip twist. Okay? So go ahead and tulip twist it. And you want it to be kind of not a flat tulip twist, but you don't want a real long one either. Okay? So you want to tulip twist it. Let the air out of the rest of the balloon so that you can trap that tulip twist in a knot so that you're not going to lose it. Like so. And then keep the rest of the balloon because you will be needing the rest of the balloon later. Alright, keep the whole thing like this. Okay, next you're going to take whatever balloon you want to make for the face. The face is going to take 2 balloons. Well, actually 3 if you count the eyes, but 2 balloons. Okay, now because you're using 350s, as you know with 350s, you really can't get a whole lot of twists out of them. So you want to inflate them only maybe about 2/3 full. What we're going to do is we're going to take this nose on a string and we're going to tie it, leaving, you want to leave a good amount of slack, and you'll see why later. So you want to tie it to the balloon that you've chosen to be your nose. Snout, whatever. Okay, there you go. Once you get it tied, do not cut off the nozzle. You need that there. The reason you need it there basically is traction. And I would even give yourself a little bit of extra space here because oftentimes when you're trying to do this, you're going to get a friction tear or something else is going to go wrong and you're going to need to try and tie it to another balloon. Now what you want to do is basically marriage twist this in. You want to try to push it in as far as you can, and that has to, basically how far you can push it has to do with 2 things. One, the length of the extra lead string that you've given yourself, and 2, how good you are at pushing in.
Friction tear.
Yeah. I wasn't kidding when I said this was a somewhat of a challenging one at times. But no matter. I've prepared lots of balloons. Just try it again. Try not to swear too much, and you'll like the result at the end. It's worth the trouble. It really makes a huge difference. And actually, I learned this from Patrick Brown at TJAM 01, and if you guys remember at TJAM 01, I was very, very pregnant I think it was the only class that I went to was his private class, and I went because I wanted to learn his heart dog. And since then I've adopted his nose. Okay, now cutting your finger out can be tricky. If you wet your finger, sometimes it can be easier. I may have gotten a bit too ambitious on the sides of my nose here. Alright, so once you get it trapped in there, of course you want to twist it in. You don't want to twist it too many times because if you do, you're going to have a problem later. So you want to twist it just enough to kind of trap it and secure it, but not so much that when you try to pull it later, you're going to give yourself an inner friction tear. That doesn't sound good, does it? Okay, so while you're still kind of holding the knot, now what you want to do is you want to make 2 bubbles that are just a little bit longer than your lower lip snout balloon. Like so. Okay. And just leave it alone for right now. Now we're going to take our second face balloon, and we're going to make that same face style that we've been making on this whole video, which is, of course, loop, loop, bubble, pinch, twist, bubble. So, here we go. I'm sure you guys all know this very well by now. Okay, loop, loop, and depending on how big you make it, that also has a lot to do with what character it would look like. I mean, some characters have a longer forehead, some characters have a very short forehead. What I do when somebody asks me for a character for birthdays, I usually go and try to base the parody off a picture of the real thing versus trying to do a balloon version that I've seen somewhere. Anyhow, this we're going to pop off later, but we'll leave it there for right now. And remember, we left this here. That's to help us in twisting this entire thing together. Now, this, I mean, you do kind of have to do a fair amount of wrestling with this to get it to go. Which is why it's the last one on the video and not the first. Inside my balloon, and I have no idea how it got there. Okay. Okay. So, there we go. I know it looks like a big jumbled mess right now. Let's just make a few simple adjustments. Okay. And now you see that the nose is kind of offset itself. That's good because that's how we want it. So now what we're going to do, remember I said that we need a little bit of pull on this too? We're just going to kind of open up that snout there and put that big nose right through and just bring it right down in there. You see, and that's closing the mouth. It just makes a really cute little mouth. If you want, you can put a little tongue here to hide that line. It'd be really nice if the balloons were solid, then you wouldn't see it either. But there you go. There's the basics of the face. Now, since it's Rainbow Dog, we need another color. Let's just give him some eyes real quick. And I'm gonna. Sometimes I give him 350 eyes. Sometimes I give him Google eyes. Sometimes I give him 260 eyes. I always put white behind the eyes if I'm gonna do Google eyes. On this one, I'm actually not gonna do Google eyes. But when I do Google eyes, I usually use a clear 350 with a white 260 behind it. It just gives it that extra effect.